Yeah, it's preparing to live stream the meeting.
All right.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Good morning.
Good
Good
morning.
morning.
Sorry for being delayed. Actually, there was some technical issues and we couldn't connect on time, but we made it. Welcome, everyone. I know there are many people who couldn't join because of some other reasons, but we have lovely people with us. Rashi, Mamta, Raksha, Sanya, Amit. Thank you so much for making time for this. And we are having again authors session with authors because the 6th edition has just come. It's on about healing masculine and feminine energies, being intuitive, creative, and being more expressive. So before I say anything, can I ask Rashi, Mamta, and Raksha to say a few words? How did they like the edition? And then I'll go ahead. Yes, Rashi.
Hey, hi everyone. I am. I'm not sure if I can call myself one of the author of the magazine. Can I call myself that?
Obviously, yes.
Okay.
You are.
All right. So, okay. First of all, I truly enjoyed contributing to the magazine. I had a lot of fun, contributing for the magazine. All the things that I had to contribute. I went through the whole magazine. I really loved the edition. The pictures that were used, the illustrations that have that people have contributed and provided. So, yeah, I truly enjoyed that.
Thank you so much, Rashi. I'll just a sec. Oh yeah, there was some voice disturbance. Thank you so much. And it was our pleasure to have your interview in our edition and we look forward to, so you're a write more. But Rashi is a counseling
psychologist
and she works on treating people using eclectic approach, and she provide the ways how to overcome the mental health issues, right?
Right. Yes.
We'll learn more about it as the session progresses.
Sure.
Mamta, over to you.
Yes. Good morning, everyone. I've always actually loved all the editions of Thanks to Life, and this one was very unique. I always say to Neha that you always come with very unique topics and give audience the chance to explore uh, different areas of spirituality, and this one was just as unique. So I personally loved the whole edition. All the interviews, all the topics were really great. So yeah, I love the magazine, and kudos to Neha and the team.
Thank you so much, Mamta. It was all our pleasure again. And you have been associated with this just like a family. At least I will always say it's like a family. It's a Thanks to Life family where we have more than 40. It's like almost 50 authors.
Yeah.
And we are like just completed more 6th edition old and completed 1 year in 3rd Feb. So hopefully we'll complete 2 years, 3 years, and it will expand. And soon, hopefully by next year, we'll move into the print mode.
Wow.
Thank you so much. Keep being associated with it. That's what I look.
Absolutely, I would love to.
Raksha?
Hi, how is everyone? Okay, so this is, I guess, my experience with the magazine has been that I really like on how diverse it is. I am Raksha and I'm joining from India, and I myself am a intuitive healer and coach. Like apart from healing, I create a lot of things, and particularly this topic of the balance and the creativity was like I was really very interested. And when Neha spoke to me about that, I was like, this can be like such a deep thing, and also like it has a lot of opportunity for one to grow. So it's like a really great addition.
Yes, thank you so much. So she actually works, her bread and butter is union and creativity. And the way she has explained what is creativity and how it can be experienced, it's a wonderfully written article. I recommend it to everyone. Please read it.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you so much. Sanya, you want to say something? Amit, anyone, before we proceed further? Yes, Sanya.
Yeah, hi everyone. Good morning, and it's a pleasure to be with you all today morning. And um, you told me about your magazine when I met you first, and it was so nice to know about such a thing because you are someone who is just doing it as a, I would say, like we say, a layman is starting something and it's becoming great. So it's something that, you are actually asking people around you to really think how they can bring change in their lives and make it better. So, this whole concept of thanks to life really encouraged me. And this is the main reason that, when you asked me to write, I was like, yes, I will write. So this is the main thing, and it's a great thing to be here right now. And I will speak later on now. Thank you.
Thank you, Sanya, for joining. And she's one of the person who is like exploring writing now, and how she practices creativity despite her busy schedule. One can really learn from the young talents like Sanya. So let's proceed. I'll start with a few questions. So why we dealt with the masculine and feminine energies? Because there's so much going on over the social media about its union, and people are misguided also in the name of twin flames and everything. So that's what prompted me to go ahead and explain the meaning. I know there are some people who have the apprehension about why use the word masculine and feminine. Why not soft part of a person, hard part of a person? And why there's so much fat? Why the divine? Why is it say the divine feminine is rising? What does this femininity means? Is it just females have this, or how does the men have also have this? So this is all the edition is dealing with it, and I hope you have read it. But we'll listen more from this about this from our authors, and obviously, then always people say listen to your intuition, but how to listen to your intuition, that's very important. uh, Intuition hota kya hai, it's just, is it listening to heart, your gut, or what? So that is explained, and it's very important to be creative, be like a child and express yourself to live a fulfilled life. So this is what all the edition is all about. So let me just start ki why there is suddenly there is so much focus on balancing masculine and feminine energies. Is it due to some spiritual ascension, or the cosmic changes are happening that way, that it says divine feminine is rising, and it was suppressed for a long time? Is it due to that reason, or because of practicing spirituality? What is it about? Raksha, if you want to start with.
Thank you so much. Like in my opinion, I feel we are going through I feel every person and also Earth as such go through different seasons of life, and currently there's a like an upsurge of where women per se are rising to their powers. As in, I was just explaining this to someone that women are more to like guide and nurture, and when they are understanding their power where they should be guiding, and obviously masculine energy is where they always kind of be like, why is this happening, where is my space? So when that clash happens, people are also coming into a lot of awareness that where there are things right and wrong. Also, I feel, in my opinion, that suddenly the kundalini yoga and that meditation has come up so much in the spiritual world, and it comes with both the notion, like like it has all the benefit and it also has like all these side effects. And coming from an Asian background, Indian people per se have been told and taught that not to awaken your third eye, because we have that image when Shiva opened his third eye, there was this destruction. So there's a lot of like conditioning that people have gone through, that if they either open their third eye or either they activate their kundalini completely, there's so much is going to happen. So just to avoid what not is going to happen, people are kind of being very more into understanding that. And I love that there are this group of people who are here to put light that there's nothing fearful, it's all from a space of faith. And the basic, like the moment we are even conceived in our mother's womb, that is when both the energies of feminine and masculine are very much activated in ourselves. Like we don't need someone from our, external to come and activate our chakras or anything. It's just that, it's like you have water in your tap, but you have just not opened it. So it's just like that is why, like when I like to take up in my healing, I always tell people that you're tapping back into that space. There's nothing that I'm going to give you from my home or, like my part of the universe. You already have that. So I think, in my opinion, because of all of these mixed notions, people have been a lot fearful. And of course, when there is a lot of fear, there are this group of people who work towards light who are like, wait, it's not fearful. You have to be more faithful. So, there are a lot of people speaking about it to clear the notion on how it's really beneficial rather than like all the confusing things. I hope like that answers your question, Neha. Yeah.
Yes, Yaksha, it's very beautifully explained, and I hope people have understood what it's all about. But why there's still apprehension about using the term feminine and masculine?
Because it's very much based on the gender. Like if I am feminine by my sex, like I'm a girl by my sex, I'm a woman. But for me to address that there is a masculine energy that is helping me to be disciplined so that I can get up by 8 o'clock and then be here for live by 9:15 prepared. That is not acceptable. Like if you are a woman, you are just a woman. But to understand that this energy exists in both of, like irrespective if you are a man or a woman, the sex is very different, whereas the energy to what we are experiencing is very different that way. So there's a skepticism that people are still not very thorough, and they have a feeling that because I'm a woman, that I will have more feminine energy and the world should make peace with it. And if I'm a masculine, then I will have that, like masculine space. That's very much fine with it. But however, to know where you're using what is very essential. Yeah.
But people should know how to distinguish between masculine and feminine energy. If you can
Yes.
share with some examples, how they can
So
understand.
I feel if I have to be very simple, like I like to make spirituality or just lifestyle living in a very simple space, because when our humans are given complicated stuff, we instantly be like, nah, it's like it's too complicated. I'm not gonna do it. So the simple way is when we look at the feminine energy, it's the water energy and the air energy. It's very flowy. It does need to have a little stream so that it can flow. And that is what, if you look at day-to-day life, the way we, free willingly cook, or we free willingly write, or decorate our homes. Like someday we would want a pot here and the other day we would want it to be there. And to have a conversation, that creative space is also very feminine. But the masculine is where the structure comes. Like, why do you need to cook the lunch before 1 p.m.? Because you need to eat the lunch by 1:30. So the discipline part is where the masculine energy comes. So masculine energy is more about the earth energy and the fire energy. So like when you see earth take its time to grow, but at the same time it's very solid, it has its own discipline, that it would grow plants when it's rainy season, it would not give you fruits when it's autumn or winter. So they are very like very structured. Masculine energy works like that. So these are like small basic examples on how you can relate to your day-to-day life. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
very beautifully explained. And I hope people have got the answer. If you have any questions, please ask us, because experts are there with us today. So you can ask the questions. Okay, Mamta, you want to go ahead and say before I'll ask another question or elaborate on this?
Raksha answered very beautifully. I loved
Thank
her.
you so much.
So basically, I feel like it is very important to understand the fundamentals of it. People, before getting into divine masculine and feminine energy, people should come down to the basics, where they should understand that a soul never has any gender. Like Raksha said, it's not about gender. It is about the archetypes, different archetypes, the divine feminine and the divine masculine energy. And a soul basically never has any gender. what is happening is that divine masculine energy has it has been there. It has been very dominant since last 5-6 thousand years, and that's why we see the way society is right now, playing out right now. And the reason why it is we see divine feminine energy rising these days is because there needs to be a balance. थोड़ा सा balance strike होना चाहिए अभी, because whatever we see happening on the global upfront, it's because there is imbalance between these two energies. There's the divine masculine energy is so potent that जो divine feminine archetypes की जो भी qualities है, they're lacking into that. There is a less of there's less feeling of nurturing and caring, like really coming from the heart. ये सारी चीजें बहुत कम हो रही है, and बहुत ही ज्यादा practicality के नाम पे बहुत सारी चीजें की जा रही है globally. And that is why I feel it now the divine and feminine energy is rising, and finally there is this balance that's coming up. And even in
Yeah.
relationships, I feel like sometimes we hone on to only one energy. Either we have a very strong divine masculine energy or a very strong divine feminine energy. And when you are into a relationship, sometimes it happens that you're so strong, you're so dominant in your divine masculine energy, and you're lacking into that feminine energy, that your soul or your body or your use as a whole start looking for that looking for that other energy, your partner to fill on to that other energy. मतलब अगर तुम बहुत ही ज्यादा divine masculine energy बहुत dominant है तुम में, so you start looking for a divine feminine energy into your partner. And if your partner starts providing you that energy, तो उनका divine feminine energy ज्यादा strong हो जाता है, that which again creates an imbalance in relationship. So relationships में दोनों भी energies balance होनी चाहिए.
Yeah, I think I would like to bring this to understanding that the lifestyle that we are living right now, like I don't know how many people. So first of all, what I say is not for you to agree, but still, what happens is like the current lifestyle where women are going out and working. So in previous lifetime, like if you just look at few years before, women were fine working from their homes, doing the creative stuff, and let the men do the calculative business thing. But when women are stepping into this space of working, going on to the like offices and corporates, that's acceptable. But when they are forced to act out only masculine and not address the feminine, that is where that the imbalance happens so easily, because the woman feels that she's compelled to perform in a more masculine way, and she can't be more feminine. And I also feel people think that feminine and masculine energy is different, and divine feminine and divine masculine is different.
Yeah.
So I'm like, no, it's not like that.
Yeah, wounded feminine and wounded divine.
Yeah. So it just like matter of how a person is addressing that way. And it's very beautiful that once you do know where is that imbalance happening, it becomes easier to come back to your own self. Yes.
True. I agree.
Yes, and that's what the edition is all about, so that people learn about it. Rashi, you want to say?
So I could only think of maybe trying to connect. So what happens a lot of time, not everyone can connect to spirituality. So maybe giving it a little bit of a biological touch. So just like in our body, we have the male hormones testosterone and the female hormones estrogen. Estrogen, right? I was confusing with progesterone, right? So exactly in a similar manner, in when biologically we are meant to have both the hormones, in a similar manner for spirituality also we are meant to have both the energies, right? Because as Raksha mentioned, as Mamta mentioned, that there needs to be a balance, right? We cannot have like just one of everything, right? Everyone has different traits as well. Everyone has traits that support them, that make them feel a little feminine, that make them feel a little masculine, that brings that energy, right? Say for example, when you need to push something very heavy, you need that masculine energy, you need that testosterone in you. If you don't have that, you cannot do it. And in a similar manner, when a man needs to show emotion, so he needs to have that kind of feminine energy and that feminine hormones also. So yes, I totally agree to what Raksha and Mamta both have said.
Such a beautiful discussion is going on right now. I know, like, divine feminine, bounded for divine ke Raja. There's so much is going on, and I hope people have got कि उसको कैसे balance किया जाए. Anything more on this topic you want to tell it to people?
Like usually, I guess I've also written in my article on how you can simply in your day-to-day life kind of, balance both the dynamic. And I like to keep it like very simple. The one thing that kind of can, instantly integrate both the energies is your breathing. And breathing does not have to be like मैं दुनिया छोड़ के बस breathe करने बैठी हूँ, or like when I tell people start meditating, they instantly go to imagining themselves on a mountain and leaving everything, and I'm like, no, you don't have to do that. We are very much human and you can be very much present in your moment. So breathing is the one thing, and secondly is always coming back to your body. Even our bodies are like how Rashi said, biologically also it's divided, and energetically also it's divided, where our left part is more feminine and receptive, and the right part is masculine and given. So in between the days when you are feeling that like it's getting frustrated, just take that breath and feel that where in your body is this coming from. And that's the simple thing that you can do. Apart from that, I always tell people that if you're being too like not lazy, but just like ho jayega, or let's just see where the life goes. So so procrastination is actually when we are very physically and emotionally overwhelmed. So procrastination is just like a glasses that you're wearing to protect yourself from sun, but inside you're still feeling the heat. So heat that you're feeling is the laziness or the overwhelmingness that way. So procrastination, I would not consider as a feminine energy. Like, you know that you have to eat your breakfast, but you would be like, what about I just don't eat today? So that is where you're letting your feminine, allowing your feminine to step in to be that flowy, but you're not nourishing yourself. But at the same time, so when you're not being in a like structured way, you can ask yourself that, okay, let me just try to bring more masculine and get more discipline. And then there are people who would be like, no, Baje, like I have to eat. Otherwise, if it is 9, 10, then I'm not going to eat. So it's like you're not even giving your chance to open space where you can be flexible. So you can be flexible, and that is where you allow yourself to be a little more feminine. So that is like, this is the simplest way you can balance it.
Exactly. Not too rigid and not very flexible. So when you bring some flexibility and there is some routine is there, then you are good to go.
Yeah.
Raksha, I have a question for you. So
Yes.
I've always wondered, what part of energy is more dominant in the people who have OCD?
OCD.
Yeah.
So actually, it is masculine energy, but however, it's coming from a space where you're. So it's basically masculine energy because it's wanting to make things in a very controlled way. Like now when I'm saying masculine is earth and feminine is water energy. So water is just flowing on the surface of earth. Earth is what is giving its direction. So a person who has OCD is like of that earth energy. It's like it has to be this way, it does not have to this way, it can't move. And what happens if it keeps on going chronically growing up, the feminine energy feels unheard, and it feels it has no power, because years after years that energy has seen that सब चीजें कंट्रोल होने से ही सही होगा, और थोड़ी सी भी चीजें ऊपर नीचे हो जाएगी, so there might be chaos, someone might fight, or the party might not go right. So the feminine energy feels, okay, I have been always running through the system, so this is better, so let's not even take chances. So that is why it keeps on, amplifying that energy. Yeah.
Thank you for the answer.
Welcome. Yeah, it's a
That,
nice
in that
question.
case,
Yes.
we really need to work on improving that is the extra masculine energy that we've got, and the balance is not there in case of OCD, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mamta, you have also wonderfully explained about the Ram, Sita, and how does it relates to how they are a part of each other. Can you just tell us, because it's written in your interview, I remember.
Yes.
Shiv
So,
Shakti, Shiv Shakti and all that.
yeah, so basically, when we think, when we have seen this on social media, that when people talk about divine masculine and feminine energy, बहुत ज़्यादा description आता है about Ram and Sita, and Shiv and Parvati, Radha and Krishna. But the thing to understand is that when we talk about divine masculine and divine feminine energy, Radha and Krishna, they are literally an epitome of it, because people think that Radha, she is a different person, a completely different person, but that is not true. She represents Sri Krishna's divine feminine energy.
Feminine.
Like, she is Krishna in the feminine form. And the way they play out during they did play out during their time over here on earth, they perfectly showed how divine masculine and divine feminine energy can uh, strive together, and creating a balance between both the energies can help them uh, uh, create a balance, or strive their, or help their relationship grow more, or their help their love grow more, bring that spiritual nature to their love. And so was true between Sita and Ram. So as long as both of them were in service of each other, in love for in love, they were in love with each other. But then, as long as they were into that service mode for each other, everything was going great. But then, as Sita, she got attracted to that golden deer, which came as illusion, and she got distracted. Their relationship got imbalanced. So I think this is what these couples show, that there should always be a balance between these two energies.
Yeah. Yeah, that's actually very beautiful. Yes.
It's very beautiful. It's not like a person should balance the masculine and feminine within themselves. It's when they get into a relationship, it's not only the romantic relationship. I think it goes with our parents, your siblings, your friends. It goes with everybody, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And
And
just so,
yes,
yes,
Mamta.
Raksha. You go
Uh,
ahead.
so I feel like I often tell this to people, that your relationship dynamic at one space is how it's gonna be at all the spaces. Like if you are very like critical or very controlling with your siblings, then in a way you will also be that way with your lover or a partner, because the energy of the relationship dynamic is gonna be the same. If you are very suppressive and you feel that, okay, someone can tell me that, if you're doing that with someone as a stranger, then you are also allowing that behavior with your parents and also with a lover and colleague, because the energy that a relationship holds is the same. It gets mirrored in that way. That's why a lot of times relationship are like really testing, because they try to kind of trigger you, that are you sure you want to behave like that. So that's why people find it very either they get into a sacred union, getting married into a space where they feel that they're perfect for each other. Otherwise they feel that the opposite, he was opposite of me, that was great in the start, but then later it started to irritate me. So, because it keeps on triggering that part, that why are you so masculine, why are you so feminine, because that relationship dynamic you had same with a colleague or a friend, and that was going well. So it's the same thing that gets kind of the pattern, you're picking up that pattern and using that same, like एक ढांचा होता है वो same ही use करते हो relationship में, but how well you're using that is very different. Yeah.
And
Interesting.
with the divine, with the Ram and Krishna example, we see हम लोग अभी आजकल देखते हैं, like, the males in the society, they don't want to be emotionally expressive. They don't want to be emotionally available. Uh, I don't know what's the reason behind it. Maybe because the society has conditioned them to be that way, to show themselves to be more brave and not to hide their emotions. Lekin, if you see Ram or Krishna or even Shiv, in their relationships, not just into romantic relationships with everyone, we see that how expressive they were, how like there was a complete balance in their own feminine and masculine energy, and which is why they could express their emotions and their love very openly.
Yes.
जब वो टाइम आता था कि you need to show your partner, or when you need to show your family or your friends that you really care, they expressed that very openly, and I think that is what people should learn today.
Yeah, like I feel no one would kind of take this part of Shiv, like Shiva, where they take him as the powerful and like the yogi and like very big, but also to know that he was so vulnerable for years and years when Sati had died, and he kept looking for and kept carrying the body. So that vulnerability that a man shows, like literally led the gods to change. That okay, like we can't do this to a person. So that vulnerability is also what one needs to embody while they are looking at all the other parts of the energy. Yeah.
Absolutely, yes.
Such an enriching discussion that is currently going on. Thank you so much. I'm so happy that you people made it. And it's a very interesting discussion, and especially it's not only about us, it's about how to heal our relationship. It's like the core of that. Hi,
Yeah.
Preeti. Thank you for joining
Hi,
late.
hi,
We're just
Neha.
having discussion on how to balance our masculine, feminine energy.
Yeah, right. As correctly said by all the participants, so the thing is, the masculine and feminine energy are the inseparable and intricate part of every individual, whether it's a man or a woman. So when both the energies are absolutely balanced or in sync, we can say, then of course that person, like, it makes that person a whole, right? I mean, it's complete. It make both the energies together make the person complete. So when we are in sync with both these energies inside us, all other relationships are in place. We have balanced, healthy, and happy relationships, as very well said by Mamta. So, in case of Ram, Krishna, and Shiva, so expressing your emotions is not a sign of weakness, like mostly men in our society do that, right? So, I really believe expressing your emotions and thoughts, irrespective of your gender, make you more resilient and strong in life.
Exactly. Very true. Very true. Rashi, want to speak on it because you always say communication is the key to everything. Why don't you speak and tell us why, how the communication helps us in improving our relationships, taking this forward?
So what happens a lot of times, we just assume things in relationships, be it with friends, family, romantic partners. Okay, this person is going to do this, or this person knows how I am, right? And that is where the discrepancy starts coming in. That is when our energies also start getting imbalanced. So I expect certain things, someone to do certain things, not realizing that the other person cannot read my mind until and unless I actually go ahead and say. So it will not happen until unless, like, a lot of times in so I do couples counseling as well. So in a lot of couples counseling, family counseling, individual counseling, I have observed that it is because the other person feels You always do na, so I expected you to do it any which ways. And the other person was like, I thought that because I always do, so I gave you a chance that you should also do something. So again, see, there's a miscommunication, right? That one person expected the other person does every time something, so they will do it again. And whereas for the other person, it was like, I expected you to do it this time without saying. So there was no communication. There was no words actually used or said that I am not going to do or I'm going to do. So that's where the miscommunication happens. So it's very, like, every time I on a daily basis I end up saying to at least one person that please go ahead, communicate, tell your expectations, speak out what you want. Until unless you don't ask for, you're not going to get it.
Yes, verbal communication is very important in a relationship, but at the same time, at times, we feel very lost. We don't know whom to speak to. So I think that time journaling comes forward, and you really need to speak to your inner child.
Oh yes, so true.
Your journal prompts. I love your journal prompts, Raksha.
Yeah.
Do you want to say something on this? Ki how does journaling or journal prompts help you in better communication, or when you talk to your inner child?
So I think I have mentioned in the article also that when we are writing, we are like kind of, using all our five senses. That is, you put yourself in a space. Also, when you're writing, there's a part of the subconscious where somewhere, if you're not actively focusing on that, when you go into that flow of writing, it can be very well accessed. And that's why journaling is a very great practice that you can do. Apart from that, while you're journaling, what happens is that you are allowing yourself to be seen and heard. And in any relationship or in person, we see as humans, in our basic needs of loving ourselves, the space where we do feel seen and heard is the safest. So when you're journaling, you do feel highly seen by yourself. And when you are creating that space within yourself, you also allow yourself to be seen by others, and you also see others with the same space. Like, imagine that you start writing journal and you are in a very good mood, but you end up writing something like that you've been feeling low and you're crying. So by the end of the day, maybe you would also allow someone else who's happy to show up in a way where maybe they can, like, subside and really show up that what is going on behind that happiness. So like, journaling helps great. I do this, like, irrespective of what is going on with my life. I write like 3 to 4 pages every day. Like, I will just, like, I started as a practice almost 3 to 4 years ago. So I've always been a writer. Like, I keep on writing things a lot. I have like real big journals. Like, I've lost count now. So but now what I do is I sit and I write, and my focus is that I will complete at least pages. So I started with that probably 3 years before, but now it has become like a practice that 3 pages is just the warming up, and then the real great inside work comes. So a lot of times when you're doing that inner child healing, trauma healing, emotional healing, like, a lot of times we feel pain in our bodies. A lot of healing can be done just by doing this process. That's why I really believe in journal prompts, because it's only when you ask the right question, you will get an answer. Like, if you are going to ask what is wrong in my life, the universe is going to respond with everything that is wrong in your life. If you rather ask that, how can I improve my life, or what is that I can do something right in my life right now, so the universe or you will come up with all the answers, that what right you can do in your life. So that's why I believe the power that words and the question, a good question holds, is like really underrated in journaling. So that's why I keep on putting this journal prompts, even on like all my spaces on social media, so that at least even if one person sits and decides to write on that, like, a lot of spaces can be opened just by that one question.
I'd like to add over here. Raksha, thank you
Yes.
so much for sharing this. So I just recently started, like I would always tell people to journal, but I wouldn't. I used to always wonder, what do I journal? What do I even write? So one fine day, I just sat down with a book. I actually bought a really good journal and I just sat down with a book and pen. I just started writing now. And honestly, trust me, I look forward to, like now I've started, I wake up and the first thing I do is journal. So I look forward to waking up and journaling now. I mean, it's such a way to just heal yourself, to talk to universe. i i,
Yes.
I feel so. I would love
Yeah.
to agree.
Yes,
Raksha,
Rashi. So that feeling that you're saying that you look forward to coming in, that is because you are literally seeing yourself.
Right.
Like a lot of times you feel so unseen. That's like a opportunity that you are creating for yourself, that like forget everything, I'll allow myself to sit and see my feelings. So yeah, that's a beautiful thing that we can do.
rightly said, Raksha and Rashi. Actually, you know what? When we do journalism, you uh, pour out your inner self on the paper. Uh,
Yes.
when you write for a few minutes at a stretch, because writing just like for a few minutes will bring out whatever consciously has been your experience throughout the day, and thereafter you'll see many more things unfolding in front of
Yes.
you, and then you get to know, oh my god, I never thought about it. It was within you, but you never thought about it, and you get to know yourself more clearly, your experiences in a better way, so that you can, of course, you on the basis of that your life improves. So yeah, it's a very effective way actually when you have nobody to talk
So
to.
communication is not only verbal, it's like
Yeah,
journaling is one of the best ways. I think in a
yes,
healing, it really helps. Right?
yes. So it just brings out all that from inside you, so that you feel better, you're healed. You do not retain anything which is not required in your personality.
Yes,
Right.
right, right. Mamta, you want to say something on
Yes, so
this?
basically, I have been into the habit of writing a diary since I was in fifth standard. So, this one habit has helped me a lot, especially during the times when, back in 2016, I went through this very rude awakening. I had my health issues also, and I lost a part of my memory and a sense of self. So, I was trying to figure out my life, and I was also trying to figure out who I am. So, I had to start my life uh, literally from zero, understanding all the basics. And that's when I started writing more intensely, journaling more intensely. And I remember what I used to do was, because I couldn't talk to people, I had forgotten a lot of people during that time. So I couldn't recognize a lot of people. And that's why I remember I used to fold a page into two, and I used to make two columns. And in one column, I used to write what did I think, or what is the one thing that has hurt me today, or what is the one thing that's scaring me today. And in the next column, I would write what should I think, like instead of thinking this, what should I think. And that one exercise uh, helped me a lot in rewiring my brain. And along with that, this was also a part of journaling itself. So that one exercise of journaling helped me a lot to rewire my brain and to even inculcate new beliefs, new powerful beliefs. So yes, as even Raksha said, it's practicing one journal prompt every day helps a lot. And it also, I feel it, journaling for me especially, it has helped me build a relationship with myself. Like even before building relationships with everyone else, it has helped me a lot to build a relationship with myself, which has again helped me to love myself more and understand myself more, to be more self-aware. And that also helps me to understand other people better, and not to be self-critical.
Yes.
Absolutely, absolutely. And so this is what the power of expression. So when you express either on the paper or to your real ones, your relationship will improve with self and others also. Very true. Thank you. Thank you, Anita, for your best wishes for this new edition. Yes, Raksha, you want to say something? You were saying something?
No. Yeah.
Okay. So this is a next question that I must bring out, because we are talking about inner child, because it says every child is an artist. And all that is creative is thought with a childlike mind. So why we need to be creative? It's everyone says कि creativity होना चाहिए, then you'll excel in your life. So what is exactly creativity, and how we can actually bring that into our life? And is it necessary to have a child alive in you to be a creative? Yes, Akshay, you want to go ahead first?
So I have like really very like in my opinion on this is like quite very different with all the other people is first I believe that we are so we've put the word artist in a box, that artist means either only have to do with drawing or painting and writing. That's it. Keep that box aside. That person is artist. Now, if a person is a chef or has the art of decorating flowers or fruits, or maybe creating homes and decorating homes, or the like buildings or corporates, like interior designer, and all of that is not considered to be an artist. Like that is how our society goes like. But for me, every person is an artist, because like every piece of what we are creating every day in our life, just like we spoke about the journaling, like my journal would be so different from what Mamta wrote. And that would, like, if I read her journal, if like of course if she allows me, I would be like, wow, like this is piece of art, this needs to be published. But at the same time she would be like, no, this is my intimate experience, I don't want it to be published. So I think every day, even that I'm speaking right now, is I'm creating these words. Otherwise, if I say like I myself, do water, writing this and that, that is not creating even a sentence. It does not make sense. So every whatever we are doing is we are creating. So I feel every person, irrespective of what you're doing, if you're living a life, like just period, you are a creative person. That's what my opinion is. Second, we are artists in our own way. Like mothers are great artists, where of course they create the child and then they kind of nurture the child to like how would you go out in the world and live. And fathers are great artists, so because they have the ability to pass down that wisdom, that see, listen, this is how the world is going to be. And every person is a artist in whatever relationship, or how whatever age it is. And why we I like when I was kind of understanding the energy of this childlike, like the fundamental of why does one artist need to be a childlike, and even I wrote that in the article, is because children per se, they don't care, they really don't care. Secondly, they don't go for perfectionism. Like if they're drawing an apple, they will just draw an apple and it's gonna be blue for them, it's gonna be blue for them. If you don't like it, then don't see it, don't do it, don't just do anything. And so that is why when you're creating an art, you need to be childlike. Why I'm saying you need to be like, I just don't use some words in my life like need, because we have very few needs. This is not a need to be like. But when we are creating some art from a space of being a child, then we are not looking at the space of perfectionism, that is someone gonna like it or not. Like children are very clear. Like I have one of my cousin, and she came up to me with a drawing and I'm like, oh, this is nice. And she's like, yeah, like my mother thought the tree was wrong. Like I don't think so she understands that this is how tree is supposed to be. Now she does not care. She feels like what she has done, it's not about right or wrong. It's about this feels home to me. This is my art, and I'm going to go run my world with this drawing. And have you realized that how children are so persuasive, that nahi meri drawing diwar pe lagao hi, like put it on the fridge, put it somewhere, I'm going to put it there. They will fight for life to honor their art. irrespective of kaisa bhi hai. Like I have this mother who is like kind of taking healing with me. She has a child who is going through a phase of holding everything. So she's like, it's been like a week. She holds this, broken piece of plastic fork, and she will keep it, and she's like, no, this is my favorite art I've created. Pata nahi ye ghum jayega to kya hoega. Now understand the honor that the child is giving to this broken piece of fork. If we have that confidence and faith in our art, like imagine what we can do, in our lives. So that is why I feel why people say that you have to come from a childlike perspective creating an art. Yeah.
I'd also like to agree. Like, firstly, I totally agree to what Raksha is saying. I'd also like to add that when we say that we need to be childlike, have you noticed children are completely out of, like, they don't have the fear of being judged. But as we grow up, as we age, the fear of being judged, log kya kahenge, char log kya sochenge, this comes in, and that's when we start losing our inner child, right? Because children don't fear who is going to judge me, what is anyone going to say, and they don't fear perfection, they don't fear whether it's right or wrong. That is why it comes from a space of innocence, that is why it's pure. So,
Yeah.
in order to nurture that inner child in you, in order to keep that child alive in you, somewhere we also need to be free of that fear of judgment. That, that I'm going to be judged. What if someone doesn't like it? What if someone says this, X, Y, Z? We genuinely need to gradually start working on this fear of judgment that we have. Only then we will be able to actually create something beautiful.
Yeah, I guess with fear of judgment, a lot of people just are fear of failing, and they come from a space of shame. Like
Right.
imagine if I say to someone who says that, oh, you create so much, how about you create a painting for me? And the shame for me to admit that, you know what, like I'm good at coloring, but I suck at drawing. So the shame that it can bring up. But like for me as a person, I'm like, dude, you know what? Like, I don't know, I'm going to create something and you have to accept it because I am the artist. You asked me to draw, like create an art. So there's the energy in that is so different that way. Yes.
Yes, Sanya, you wanted to share? What is creativity according to you? She loves painting and gardening.
I'm audible, no?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you know what Raksha just said and what Rashi just mentioned, I can totally relate to it. And listening to you guys, actually, I recalled an incident. So I'll tell you about a little about myself. So I'm not really an artist or something like you just mentioned, but yes, I have become one because I got this into me last I think in 2020, when I was sitting very idle at home during the pandemic. I just realized that there is something that I want to create. There's something, the idea there should come up, and I was fearful about it, that people might judge me because I'm not an artist and I've been really bad in my school days also. So how will I able to, but suddenly I gathered this desire. So how do you become creative is the fact that you need to have that desire in you, that okay, you want to create something. So that desire is important. Now for that desire to come into being, faith is important, the belief in you. So desire and faith will actually help you overcome that fear and bring that imagination into reality. So that is what I did, and I gathered some motivation through different sort of YouTubers, or different sort of on social media. I used to watch people painting, and I gathered some sort of motivation from them, and I started to paint. So my brother used to make fun of me and everything used to happen, but I used to be determined that no, I will excel in it because now I want to. So there's no age to be creative. That's what I learned. And in this listening to you both, it's really like making things real. It's about making things real. So not to be afraid of, and just do what you desire to do. So you will be able to, with that faith in you, with that confidence in you. So that's what I would like to say. Thank you.
And even with our full-time job, it can be three.
Yeah, so exactly. So with this hectic routine, I was actually not able to find time in the last 6 months to paint something or do something. So whatever, social media, on social media, if I used to find something attractive, I used to really save it that I will do. And you know what? 2 days back, I was just walking by the stationery shop, and I was like, okay, now let me get the paints, and this weekend I'm going to do this. And like sharing this in the magazine also made me determined to pursue this. So this is the thing that, when you really are passionate about a thing at any age, you just do it.
Exactly. But
So I would, sorry, Neha.
yeah, carry on, Preeti.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I would just like to add, like when we think of a child is what? It's absolutely happy, okay, doing what they want and doing the way they want. Okay, they have their own ways. They are always playful, no blocks at all, of any kind. Okay, so being adults, actually, as we grow, it is very important to take up a passion, something that you're really interested in, because when you grow up you have to take up the responsibilities as well, right? So you may have heard about ikigai, right? So that it is about doing something that you love. Okay, so when we do something that we love to do, we want to do it more. We want to put in more efforts and time and energy without feeling tired, okay, without realizing as to how many hours of work we have put in. And when you do that, you are in a perfect alignment within your body, mind, emotions, everything. Okay, all of this helps to avoid all kinds of uh, obstacles or energy. I mean, it actually makes you more energetic and it protects your energy. Okay, so so this is all of this is very important. And creativity is what? Like creativity is doing something with love in a different way, which can be anything. Even if somebody cooks, right? If somebody cooks, they know what spices they have to put at what time, what should be the quantity, all of those things. So, whatever work that you do, whether you're an engineer or a doctor or a painter or a writer or just a chef or a gardener, creativity is involved everywhere. If you're not creative in your work, you can never be known for it. So so there's this one example, like I have been always I have felt this compulsion from within that I want to paint. Okay, but my mind has always told me that you're not professionally trained, how can you paint? So I never did. But in 2016, on one day when nobody was at home, I just took a canvas and started painting. And in 4 hours' time, that was the longest stretch when I have done something with like consistently in a stretch. Okay. And I could paint something that was, I mean, I was feeling, yes, it needs some more work and it is not complete. But when my family members came back, they said, "Oh, you painted this in 4 hours of time." So I was surprised at myself. So which means that it was within me, but I never recognized it. I could not ever identify it. And on one day, I was painting, it was summertime, okay, very hot, and I was painting in my room, and this help came, and she just switched off the fan because she was cleaning. And I was just thinking throughout, I just tell her to switch on the fan, and she did not hear. And I kept thinking, whenever I used to feel hot, I used to think, oh, I have to switch on the fan, that which was just 2-3 steps away. But I did not do it because I was so much engrossed in my work. So what I mean to say is, what I have learned from my own experiences, like, it's very important to do the work or the thing that you like, because it brings up a lot of fulfillment. In fact, most of the fulfillment in your life. And
Absolutely.
when that fulfillment is absent, then people try to seek for that fulfillment from other places, which sometimes may not be the right sources, which may push you into some kinds of addiction, which happens in the society. So I really say that the work that you do is very important, and rest of the things fall in place on its own.
Yes,
Okay.
for creativity, passion is very important. But at the same time, to know that we really want to do something, we must listen to our intuition, right?
Right.
Mamta, do you want to go
True.
ahead, tell us what intuition is and how it works? What God's role in it?
So, intuition is basically, I'll come straight to the point. A lot of people say intuition is as extra sense, a sixth sense or something, but it has been clearly mentioned into our Vedic scripts and into our shastras that intuition is nothing but the voice of the super soul that sits within our heart along with our soul. So जिसको हम परमात्मा बोलते हैं, that is the super soul, and it sits along with the with our soul, and it guides us through our life journey. And a super soul is something who knows everything, because it's a part of God, and we are also part and parcels of God. Uh, but we are, as a human, when we come into this, a soul, when it comes into the material life, into the material world, it becomes conditioned. And that's why when we get conditioned, we kind of, we don't know, we can't distinguish between what is right for us and what is not right. But a super soul, that's why we have a super soul along with us. God ने भेजा है कि अभी तो conditioning हो गया है इसका, लेकिन इसको कोई guide करने को दो. So that's why we have a super soul along with us. And a super soul is someone that guides us through our life journey. जितना we stay away from conditioning, जितना हम खुद को, हम जितना self aware है, उतना ज्यादा हम हमारी intuition के साथ भी ज्यादा aligned होते हैं. उतना ज्यादा उसका voice हम सुन सकते हैं. And yeah, I mean, जितना हम लोग ज्यादा, जितना intuition का ज्यादा सुनेंगे, उतना हमारा, even in our work life, हमारी productivity ज्यादा build होती है.
Right, right. That's very true. Rashi, want to say
True.
something on it before you leave? I know you have a meeting and
Yes, yes. No, no, nothing. I mean, I totally agree to what everyone says. I apologize that I will have to leave. I genuinely want to be a part of this extremely lovely and fruitful discussion, but I have something urgent come up.
thank you so much. And before she leaves, I want to tell you that next issue is on decoding mysteries of mind and improving mental health. And she is one of our psychologists who is ready to help you. If you really want to contact to her, please let us know. And she's there to. I think we can come one to one on Insta one day or on YouTube again.
Sure, sure. I'd love to do that.
And hopefully that day we'll connect live on time. Thank you so much, Rajesh.
All right. Thank you for having
Thank
me.
you.
Thank you,
Rashi.
Bye,
everyone.
Rashi.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thanks.
Bye.
Take
Bye.
care.
So Yes, and intuitionally, I think third eye chakra we must third eye chakra पे work करना बहुत जरूरी है, right?
Yes, it is.
Yes, yes.
But
Third eye
how to
chakra
listen to our intuition? पता कैसे चले intuition ही है और it's our mind is saying. Raksha
So,
or anyone?
Preeti,
so
you go ahead. Yes.
yeah, so third eye chakra, actually its function is the clarity. Okay, the clarity, intuition, wisdom, which is, I mean, clarity and intuition are main. So what happens when we work on our third eye chakra? That is, we heal when our third eye chakra is healed and balanced and aligned. So we see, we get both kinds of thoughts. Okay, one thought is जिसको हम वहम कहते हैं. Okay, आज आज मत जाओ, मेरा मन ठीक नहीं लग रहा है, something like that. Okay, so that is whether that's an illusion or an intuition, how will you get to know?
Exactly.
So you really have to sit with it. Okay, you just have to, when you have your third eye chakra aligned properly, then you will know it as soon as the thought comes. And when it is balanced, then you rarely get illusions. Okay, the thoughts which are illusions, you do not get them much. It's just the intuition, your inner voice. You can sense it in you, whether it is coming from you, what is its source. उसको उसके बारे में थोड़ा सा अगर हम if we mull over and just sit for a few minutes with our eyes closed, we can know that. But in case of people who are not meditating regularly, or they do not have like they haven't worked on the third eye chakra, it might take longer, but
Right.
we do get answers.
And I think it's
Raksha, you
also
want
very important to let go of all the limiting beliefs that we have, because जब भी हम लोग हमारा इंट्यूशन हमें कुछ बता रहा होता है, we start questioning it, and वहीं से वो doubts शुरू हो जाता है कि is this our mind that is telling us or is this the intuition. तो वो जो लिमिटिंग बिलीफ्स है वो पहले उस पे वर्क करना बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट है इफ यू रियली वांट टू लिसन टू योर इंट्यूशन. तो पहले जितना भी अंदर ट्रैश है उसको पहले क्लियर करो, उस पे थोड़ा सा वर्कआउट करो, एंड देन इट बिकम्स इजी टू ट्यून इन विद द इंट्यूशन.
Right, that's absolutely correct, Mamta.
so is it like listening to your heart, Raksha?
So how I address intuition is like how it's kind of like an inclusive of what Mamta said, that there is like a soul, like there's a soul and spirit part of me that wants to speak to me. So intuition is more of listening. Now it's when you have to listen, it's very obvious you have to like mute all the other noises. And like if I want to speak clearly here, I have to make sure that there is no other voice so that you can hear me clearly. Just like that, when we want to consciously understand that what is my inner counsel, what is my inner intuition telling me, that should I go to a party wearing this or not, and to understand and to listen, that first have to mute everything. And I always give this example that the difference between listening to your intuition and listening to your ego part is as simple as, if you want to go wearing a red color dress and your intuition is like, so if you're feeling that maybe I should not wear it, I don't feel like it, the feeling maybe I should not, or maybe there is like I may look fat, and wherever there is this word of should or need, or all the things that the world has put up, that maybe wearing this dress would make me look fat or thin or ugly or more beautiful or attractive, or all of these, it's like your ego is taking over. Now ego is where your alter person wants to protect you, your brain wants to protect you. But if you're feeling that I don't feel like wearing this red because I feel more blue, like if I wear this red, I will just not feel myself, Yeah, I just think ये पहन के जाऊंगी कुछ तो भी गलत होने वाला है, that way, like the knowingness that you have, that is where intuition is. Because intuition doesn't care if you're gonna look ugly or fat. It does not care. It only sees the spirit inside, the soul inside you, and it knows that is beautiful. So it does not care how you're going to look external. That's all the mind and the ego talking. And like how Preeti said, the third eye thing, I feel in our bodies as a human, we are designed so beautifully that our third eye and crown chakra are like antennas where the information comes in. But our entire body is where the information can come through. Like for some people who likes to take decision, feeling it here from solar plexus, from gut. Like, sometimes when you feel the fear here, because is fear is, usually gets stored in solar plexus. So when you want to listen to your intuition, this part will kind of be so, you will feel like the voice is coming from here, but it's not coming from here. The resistance is coming from here. So, that is how when you step into your body, the voice is not coming from one part of your body, like third eye or crown chakra or heart, your legs or feet. It's just coming because soul does not have a place. It does not have a structured, position in your body. कि ममता की बॉडी में वो हाथ में रहेगा, प्रीति की बॉडी में आईज में रहेगा, मेरी बॉडी में arms में रहेगा. So that's not how soul resonates. It wants to be free falling. It wants to be that free. But just to stepping in to understand, if you're feeling that it's too much in your head, like this overthinking of should I present it 20, मुझे 25 pages की presentation देनी है, that overthinking is all your ego talking because it's all in your head. So when you silent yourself, that why am I stressing myself? So when you mute out to listen to what your intuition is telling, that is when you like get more clarity on that. Yeah.
Absolutely wonderfully explained. Thank you so much. Thank you, Preeti. I know you have to leave. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Neha. Thank you, everyone. I'm so sorry.
Thank
I
you,
have to
Preeti.
leave.
It's okay. Yes.
5 minutes. We are also just wrapping up.
Yeah, all right. Okay. See you
Thank
again.
you.
See you again. Yeah.
Bye. Bye.
So what is all important that I've seen, creative or intuitive work, you just become like a flow.
Yes.
You're more into a flow. So
Flow, and also like if I have to tell you, like if you want to fill this with clean water, you have to remove this. Otherwise, it's not going to be clean. So you can't expect something happening to your body if there is already something that there's already existing that itself is gonna like what do I say, contaminated. Yeah, contaminate is the right word. So if it's energy, if it's speaking,
Limiting beliefs.
or if it's anything, yeah. And I feel in communication a lot of people like, to me, communication is less about talking, it's more about listening. Like imagine if we all are talking together, it's like no one is going to make sense. So, and when you look at the part of that listening part, that is where everything opens up. Because if you listen to intuition, if you listen to universe talking to you, or like in this space per se, when I ask a question and Mamta is saying, so when I listen to what she's saying, only then I can receive. Otherwise, it's like I ask the question and then I'm complaining that, oh my God, I did not get answered, that way.
we are not ready to listen, and at times we're not ready to receive, and then we blame that our feminine energy is disturbed.
Yeah.
But it's really wonderful. You want to say something on this intuition part, Mamta, or anything on a balancing of masculine feminine energy? Just last few tips you want to give before we log out the session.
I think with the intuition, and because a lot of my clients ask me this thing, you know what, Neha, if someone comes and asks me how to work on intuition and how to get in tune with it, I only have basic tips, because I'll tell you what, I have always been super in tune with my intuition since my childhood. So I don't know the other way. मुझे पता नहीं है कि how does it feels to be on the other side. कि You know, I'm not.
I think I can
क्यों
also
मुझे पता नहीं
resonate
है
with that.
या क्योंकि ये पता ही नहीं है कि कभी ऐसे हुआ नहीं है. मैंने मेरे आर्टिकल में भी बताया कि द फर्स्ट टेस्ट ऑफ इंट्यूशन दैट आई गॉट वाज व्हेन आई वाज 3 years old. And I used to, Raksha, if you've read the article, I'll tell you this again. When I was 3 years old, I just had this. Of course, at that time, I did not knew that it is called intuition. But then मेरे अंकल, उनकी अचानक से डेथ हो गई थी, and I had predicted that one week ago. और ऐसे
Yeah.
मेरे साथ बहुत बार हुआ था. तो this, which is why I started trusting my inner voice more. I used to call it my inner voice. ये अंदर से आ रहा है. So उस टाइम पे इंट्यूशन क्या है ये पता नहीं था मुझे. लेकिन इसी की वजह से since such a early age I started to trust that voice more other than other people. तो इसकी वजह से when someone comes to me and asks me how to develop that, ये मुझे पता नहीं है because it was just there. It has always been there. I've always been in tune with it. But the thing is that if you want to harness that power more, then you start playing small games with it. Like you can ask it कि अगर किसी का phone call आ रहा है, अगर कुछ and you the screen is not facing you, तो तुम बस गेस कर सकते हो कि किसका फोन आया हुआ है. दैट्स हाउ. और यू कैन मैं हमेशा मेरे इंस्टाग्राम पे इंट्यूशन टेस्ट करती रहती हूँ. तो यू कैन प्ले ऑल दोज गेम्स विथ योर इंट्यूशन एंड यू कैन हार्नेस इट्स पावर. और यू कैन स्टार्ट. पहले तो ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, एज रक्षा सेड, कि यू शुड first get rid of all the limiting beliefs, all the conditioning that you have inside of you. वो पहले क्लियर आउट करना बहुत ज्यादा इम्पोर्टेंट है, क्योंकि वो जब तक नहीं होता है तब तक इंट्यूशन के साथ कनेक्ट भी नहीं होता है. सो दैट इज द सेकंड पॉइंट कि तुम वैसे ही कर सकते हो. एंड द थर्ड थिंग इज दैट ये जो छोटे छोटे गेम्स होते हैं, यू कैन स्टार्ट और यू कैन जस्ट स्टार्ट प्रेडिक्टिंग सम थिंग्स. अगर कोई सिचुएशन है तुम्हारी लाइफ में, you can start predicting results of it, and you can start listening to your inner voice. तो वो भी बहुत हेल्प करता है इंट्यूशन को स्ट्रॉन्ग करने में.
Exactly. But हाँ, healing and limiting beliefs हटाना भी it's like a बहुत लंबा process है.
So, I want to add two things, particularly to what Mamta said. So, firstly, Mamta, I would get to the short part first, is that even though you don't know what's on the other side, but to address that, it also takes, courage, and it takes a lot for us to still be on that path of listening to intuitions consequently every day. So, you can tell people that, like, if when people come to you on how to intune that, if you just tell them that how you are sustaining that itself is a big achievement for you. So you should honor that space in you. And secondly, so that was also how it happened with me, was like I used to see like deaths in family, like people winning prizes, or like everything. And that was as early as you said 3 years old when I started to speak. So the best part like with my life story is, when I was born, so I did not speak for almost 2 years. And my parents and everybody thought that like we have to take her to somewhere because she's not speaking. Like doctor said, she's all normal with her vocal cords. But I tell to like I tell my parents that I was busy observing the world, that way. And but what happened was, when growing up, a lot of notion came up, and I kind of went into the shelf of not listening to my intuitions. So when we are talking about the limiting belief, it is an ongoing process, Neha. Like, like you said, that it's so varied. Like, agar aaj hum baithe hain, and if we have listened to our intuitions for more than, 20 years, but still right now when I'm sitting, there is a path that is like, maybe I need to work on that. Because I always tell these people that like, as life is an entire space of living it, just like that healing is, you're gonna heal every day. It's a process. And limiting belief is gonna be like that, because you can't tell people to shut off. That's not in your control, right? What you can do is tell yourself to shut up. So to understand, khali agar itni bhi awareness aa jayegi ki I know my intuition is speaking clearly, or I know what my voice is. And my voice is that, Raksha, you have to be true and authentic and courageous. So if somebody like abhi maine ye bola hai aur ab main, like if I step out of my room and some auntie tells me something that is like a limiting belief that being true and authentic means people will take like faida of you, or people are going to be like very crude to you. So that's a limiting belief, but the awareness that this is a limiting belief and it does not address to me is where you're putting the stop then and there. So it's an ongoing journey, but when the awareness is very important to know that you have to keep this in your basket and you have to discard it out of your life. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's very true. And it has been a wonderful discussion, and it's all my pleasure that you people could make it and we could have such a detailed discussion on the union of masculine feminine energies, cases को identify करें, expressions के ऊपर, and what is right way of communication, creativity, intuitiveness. I think we have covered everything in just like it's like more than an hour now and I shouldn't be taking more of your time. Thank you very much for coming. Thank you, Sanya, for being there, and hope to meet us soon. And Instagram pe milenge. And guys, we are coming with the 7th edition soon, and it's on mental health, not to become the slave of your mind and to become a empowered master. And I think that's topic we all you like. And Mamta and Laksha, I'll say you have something in common with respect to intuition. If you read each other's interview or article, you'll come to know how is it.
Yeah, I did read Mamta's this thing. Like when I read her article, I don't know if I completed it, but my first like I always felt that it was very easy for me to go inside the shell, like and it kind of made me, I never looked at that perspective. It kind of made me believe that there are people who like, even though if they're supported or not by their family, but they have just went on with that journey. But like what happened with me was like a lot of people thought that I was bringing the bad or the good to the family. So I was like, okay, maybe I don't need to tell these people what I'm seeing, So it's a beautiful, I feel every person has a very beautiful story. And I've shared this very beautiful thing even on Instagram. There are a lot of times we underestimate ourselves, like how Mamta says that she does not know what's on the other side. You don't need to know. You are on this side, and tell people to come on this side,
Yeah.
So that's the superpower that we all have in ourselves. Yes.
Yes. Mamta, you want to say something before we...
Yes, I totally agree with what Raksha said. And you know what? I was just thinking after this interview, I'm going to ping Raksha and have a long discussion with her.
Yes,
Yeah.
we can do that. I would love to. I love to do this. And I guess it's very important, like I said at the start of this session, that it's very important that where there is a lot of fear about all of this, so that we do all come together, and at least like the least we can do is put faith that like
Yes.
whatever you are listening is not right, and there's so much more
Right.
to it. And that's
Yeah.
very important. Yes. Thank you so
Absolutely.
much, Neha, for having us all here.
Yeah.
It's
Thank
all
you
my
so much,
pleasure. Thank you
Neha.
for making time for this and for having this wonderful discussion. Thank you. Have a wonderful day, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
All
Thank
have a
you.
bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much.